Well, I'm a historian. I'm going to do a history project.
I loved your project.
And let's see, I'm not going to tell you what it is.
It's a secret?
Because it's a work in progress. Let's see, Samra asked me to get involved in the fellow program. I have plenty of classes to teach and plenty of things to do. But this works into something I did 25, 30 years ago at Boise State, Interdisciplinary Humanities, and I proposed to Samra a class like that, whichever form it might take. And that might be a history, a literature, and a science professor talking about something. Now that was transformed into what they're calling the Rock Creek Project, which is being discussed down the road where I'm going to go presently. Because the lit professor there is doing her dissertation on Rock Creek. I own property on Rock Creek, the most important piece of property in Twin Falls, at the center of southern Idaho, the corner of hotel on the corner of Bitter and Sweet, of Shoshone and Minidoka. And when Twin Falls started, that was the economic, business, residential center of the community. And of course, it's now completely shifted, and that's urban blight. The grain elevator project I started 15 years ago. I own the property with a corporation called Preservation Twin Falls. And we've been developing it as a park, a history park. And so the Rock Creek project and the Silo project, I'm going to try to connect through a program called Livable Cities. And I came across this when I was in Utah for a week-long NEH conference last year. And Salt Lake is a livable city, part of the Center for Livable Cities program that's concerned about urban world and its horrors. Twin Falls is a perfect example. They took Old Town in the 60s, put a freeway running right through the middle of Old Town, and then for the next 30 years wondered why no one stopped in Old Town. And of course it has lots to offer, and it's gone through a renaissance. And the warehouse district's part of that. There's 3 history districts that warehouse the business and the residential, all within the original town site. So the Living Cities project is taking walking tours and having people plan the city around their needs.
In Salt Lake?
In Salt Lake, but wherever this happens, as opposed to having stupid urban planners.
Yes.
Who think that new is better than old, which it's not. So there's kind of a preservation part to the Living Cities project. And then this all goes back to a very famous person named Jane Jacobs. And maybe you've all heard of her, or maybe not. She's the most famous urbanist in American history.
Jane Jacobs.
And you can look up online, J. Jacobs Walks, and that's what my project is a Jane Jacobs walk from Rock Creek to Rock Creek, and then from the grain elevators we can take like 5 different walks. Very close, not long walks, and then the idea of walking is to observe things that are in your community that you never know are there because you're too busy living the urban life. And so that's the idea of the livable city, is to make people familiar with things that are very cool right in your community, like the Brine Coulee, if you ever walk along the Brine Coulee. Now I'm an old man with no social life, so I walk along the Brine Coulee for pleasure.